Hi guys, it's Master Blaster 95, and today I'm going to be showing you a video of playing for the Rebel Alliance in the Walker Assault mode of Star Wars Battlefront. So definitely a good piece of equipment to always have with you is the jump pack. It's a great piece of equipment for getting around the battlefield fairly quickly and also getting yourself out of tight situations. So I'm going to hop into an X-Wing here, and I'm going to give some air cover for the Rebels. So one thing I definitely find is easier is to use the third-person view mode when you're flying, because when you go into the cockpit, there's a bit of a glare in your visor, and you can only see what's directly in front of you, so it just makes it a little hard to see your enemies, whereas the third person, you get a whole view of basically a 180-degree view of everything that's around you, and it does make it a lot easier for spotting the enemies and taking them out faster. But it is definitely cool once in a while to go into the first-person view mode to make it feel like you're actually flying the X-Wing. So a definite tip for the uplink stations when you're playing for the Rebels is the reason you want to keep them in your possession so long is because the longer you have them under your control, they're able to call in more Y-Wings to bomb the walkers, which means you have lots more time where they're vulnerable and you can shoot them down more and deal a lot more damage. I actually played one time where we called in about 6 Y-Wings on the first uplink, and we managed to take both walkers down before they got past the first uplink. It's not easy, because you do have to keep them in your control for the whole time and virtually never lose them. So now we've moved on to the second uplink, where the A-Wings are available, and I actually tried several times to grab one. But I always either get shot down before I can grab it, or I get surrounded by enemies. One thing I definitely find, which is a bit of a problem, and this might be a glitch or just in the gameplay, but I sometimes find I have to shoot other players multiple times before they go down. Like, I sometimes have to get 20 shots off before they'll even go down, whereas, as you just saw, I took only like 1 or 2 shots, and I went down. But I don't know. It could be just a glitch, or maybe it's just because this is the beta. Maybe it's something they'll fix, but anyway. So this will be now the first of many attempts to grab the A-Wing, but as you'll see, I get shot down. When you are surrounded by enemies, you try and just shoot them all. It's not like movies. You're not Han Solo. You're not going to be able to take them all down and not get hit. Your only option, really, as a soldier, is to either throw a grenade or get out of there. You try and take them all head on, you're not going to do anything. You might take one with you, but overall you're not going to accomplish much. I do like the power-ups. I do like some of the advantages they give you, like the Smart Rocket is great for taking on the ATSTs, the Thermal Imploder is awesome for taking out a group of enemies. There are some that I find to be a little useless at certain times, like Proximity Mine is a good one to put near the uplink stations, so the Imperials or Rebels can't get near them to switch them. But if you're in the middle of like a firefight with an ATST and you pick up a Proximity Mine, that's not going to be much. Oh, and one thing you'll see here, as you saw, I just tried to call in an A-Wing, and during the process of calling it in, I got killed. I definitely find this to be very irritating, and I believe that vehicle pickups should be instant. Like, you touch it and boom, you're in the vehicle. That's just my opinion. Maybe it's something nice in there. So now I'm going to be playing Skywalker. Not for very long, though, because there's also a lot of issues I find with the hero pickup. Like, the overall movement of the characters when you're a hero, it's very robotic. It's like you can only move straight, left and right. And if you don't have something perfectly centered in your target when you go to attack, even if they're in your field of view, the lightsaber won't hit them. So I'm thinking this is, again, just another glitch in the beta. Hopefully they fix it. Like, in even there, the guy, I go for the slice, and the guy just, like, force jumps on me. He's not a Jedi, he's just a snowtrooper. And I get a few minutes with Vader, but his lightsaber throw kind of killed most of my health before I could take him down. But anyway, so now we're at now the Y-Wings are going to be coming in again, and this is my final attempt to get the A-Wing, and yet again, I'm surrounded by troops, and I managed to take one guy down with me, but then I get shot. One thing that's very disappointing is I don't like how all of the blasters have virtually the exact same range. Like, I've seen guys do like sniper rifle kills with a blaster pistol. Now that to me is just, it's not very realistic, and it kind of takes away from some of the fun of the game. So I'm hoping DICE will maybe recalibrate the range of the weapons, give them a more medium range, so that the idea is you have to kind of get in a little close to really do some damage. And again, it's just my opinion. Now we're at the final stage with the last of the uplings. And at this point in the game, now you get access to the snow speeders. Now, one thing you'll see here, I was successful on my first attempt. I do the Skywalker dive through the legs of the AT-AT walker, like he did in the movie. And I do find, like, it is fun once in a while to go into the cockpit, to fly around. It makes you feel like you're in the movies. Well, one thing that is definitely a bit annoying in this area is the Imperials get access to TIE interceptors, which is a very powerful vehicle. It's an awesome one to use, but I definitely feel that at this point in the game, there really shouldn't be any aircraft on either side, whether it's the Imperials or the Rebels. Let it be a battle between the speeders and the walkers like it was in the movie. Because one thing that is a bit annoying is how the interceptors can just come in and shoot the snow speeders down like nothing. Yep, I just did, and I died. Awesome. But yeah, like, I mean, if the Rebels had, like, an X-Wing to take them on, or the A-Wing, then that would be a lot better, but it's just irritating when it's only the interceptors. So, like I said, I find it should be either no aircraft at all for both sides, or maybe both sides still have aircraft to take each other on. Because now, when you get to this point, it's about you want to be able to get in there to do a takedown walker, but you can't do that if you got an interceptor on your tail just shooting the hell out of you. And definitely one thing I'd recommend is hold off on using the snow speeder until you're right at the point where the Y-Wings are about to bomb the walker, because you go in too early right now with Beta in the snow speeder, and all the interceptor has to do is take a few shots at you and you're down. And don't bother trying to shoot back. Your snow speeder's not going to do any damage to the interceptor, and you can't outrun it. It's way faster, so like I said, it's just something that's a little disappointing for me. But you still can do some damage with the speeder on, like, ground troops, and if you get enough shots on the ATSTs, you'll be able to bring them down. But, like, you'll see in a bit, I managed to shoot one down, but it's only really because his health was already pretty low, and I got, like, the finishing shot off. And I've actually found a huge glitch in that one walker that is, like, right beside the base, the one that's on the left. When you go in for a speeder takedown, the path of the takedown causes your speeder to automatically crash into the bit of the mountain region that's inside the walker, and there's no way of evading it. You can't move up or down to avoid it. It's already in a predetermined path, and it will always crash. I've done it multiple times. I've never been successful, and I don't think anybody else has. If they have, then it's probably just dumb luck. But yeah. And definitely one thing I've seen recently now with the walker that's in the middle of the field is I've gone down for a takedown, and during it, as you'll see here, I go in once the Y-Wing bombs, like, just give it a second. So I go in for the takedown, and I'm holding my ship steady, I'm not moving it erratically, I'm keeping it fairly good, and then out of nowhere, it'll just automatically push itself into the danger zone. Like, I'm not moving my thumb at all, I'm keeping it center, but it still does that jerkiness, and I end up crashing. And it's done that a few times now, so I'm wondering if, again, that's another glitch, and hopefully DICE will fix it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As you see, we didn't win, but it's still a fun game, so I hope you enjoyed.